Time travel paradoxes are fun thought experiments. They make for great science fiction movies. But they also raise some deep questions about physics and reality. Today we're going to look at one of the most famous ones, the grandfather paradox. This is a breakdown. Killing your grandfather is wrong. It goes against natural law, and it also goes against physics. Here's why. This is the famous grandfather paradox. If you go back in time and kill your grandfather, then your parent would never be born because your grandfather was dead. It says that traveling to the past is possible, but the universe protects its own timeline. Scientists don't know which solution, if any, is correct. Maybe time travel is impossible. Maybe we should stick to traveling forward in time. Maybe that's the real paradox. And thank you for watching. If you went back to kill your grandfather, something would stop you. Maybe you get hit by a meteor or a conveniently placed asteroid. Or maybe you just get close enough to him. Because there's always a crowd of people around him. Whatever happens, you can't change the past. The second solution is the many universes or branching timelines hypothesis. This hypothesis says that the universe doesn't protect itself. Traveling to the past is possible, and when you go back and change the past, you create a new timeline. In that new world, your grandfather is dead, but in the original world, you still exist. You can test this hypothesis by going back in time to kill your grandfather and checking to see if you still exist afterwards. The third solution is the time travel is impossible hypothesis. This is the simplest solution. It says that the paradox proves traveling to the past cannot exist. You cannot change the past. And if your parent was never born, then you were never born. And if you were never born, then you couldn't have gone back in time to kill your grandfather in the first place. So your grandfather must have died for some other reason, or maybe he didn't die at all. Can't change the past without creating a whole new timeline. That's the idea. What's the problem? Here's the problem. The statement "you go back in time and kill your grandfather" implies a timeline where your grandfather dies when you kill him. For something to exist, there must be a cause for it. You exist because your parents produced you. Your parents exist because their parents produced them, and so on. All things exist because something came before it and made it happen. Cause and effect is the rule of our universe. But that raises a problem. Let's imagine a world where nothing ever causes anything. There's no cause and effect, no universe. Nothing exists. Then suddenly something appears, a quantum fluctuation, maybe. It's a tiny little baby universe. Now that baby universe has a cause, the quantum fluctuation, and it has an effect, the baby universe. Cause and effect just happened. So cause and effect is necessary for the universe to exist. The universe needs cause and effect. Cause and effect are the fundamental rule of the universe. It's the only way we know how to make universes. So that means even in a fictional universe where you can travel through time, that rule must apply. If you remove cause and effect, the universe breaks. But the statement "your grandfather never died" also implies the same timeline. Those two statements contradict each other. That's what makes it a paradox. It's the classic example of a self-contradictory situation made famous by science fiction stories like those in Star Trek and Back to the Future. It seems impossible to avoid the conclusion that if you go back in time to kill your grandfather, you can't actually do it. You can't change the past. Why is that? Well, let's think about cause and effect. So to solve the grandfather paradox, scientists have come up with three possible solutions. One solution is the timeline protection hypothesis. There are other solutions, but they're all variations on these three.